Right, you know what this is. You click the video, idiot, subscribe or don't. This is George Willoughby. Hello, George.
Hey.
What a perfect intro. Just before we came on, you were saying that you got mistaken for someone with cancer.
I did recently. Well, not. I don't know if mistaken.
Just questioned, just inquired.
Yeah. Oh, that was a fun gig. I said the word paedophile, and they all went, ugh. And I went, oh, normally you can get out of jail with it. So I went like, oh, well, you won't like my next joke. I'm not going to do it. And they went, no, we won't. Don't.
Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah.
There's been a few of them recently from the I don't know what it is, but Caerphilly. I don't know whether it's the former mining town, somewhere north of Cardiff. Anyway, Jamie and co did a private gig at the weekend, full of ruffians. It was at like a boxing club or something, and it's caused quite the problems in the local community. Because
why? What happened?
Apparently some people were offended by some material anyway, and then someone mentioned dogs, and someone in the audience said, "Oh, dogs kill kids," and someone down in that enclave had been eaten by a dog, like some child recently. So they started going, but then blamed the comic because it was actually Jamie blamed him because he said, "Oh, dogs kill kids," and so everyone else just thought, "Oh, he was talking about it," but it was actually someone in the audience. It's caused like multiple private messages and public messages.
Amazing.
But fuck them. And also, if anyone from that community, just north of Cardiff, is watching, dogs eating kids is hilarious. So if it happens to your one, right? And it's probably a bad kid. My point was, it's probably a bad kid.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. But like, it's just the Australian, what's it? Dingoes eating babies. It's the Welsh version of that, isn't it?
Dingo out my baby. Yeah, that's all it is. A pit bull bit fucking little bastard.
Fuck's sake! Yeah, how can that cause fallout? That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it. You know, if it's a small community and it's just that, I don't know. But anyway, he didn't say anything anyway. It was someone in the audience that said that. So
that's amazing.
Fuck them even harder. And we've seen it obviously recently online. People comment on shit. Just shut your mouth and laugh or don't laugh, or you know.
What do they say? Walk away from the computer. You know.
Yeah. Put your phone down. Don't worry about it.
That's literally it. But I don't know. Like, I get it to a point, I suppose. Like, if someone's like scrolling through Facebook, and you're just scrolling through Facebook, and then I don't know what, like a chopped up body appears. That's rubbish, isn't it? That's no good.
It's not ideal.
You know, but like if it's just if it's a joke, I would have thought that like the whole, at least take some viewpoint that like, what's the intent? And is the intent to make someone laugh? Then you could probably at least, even if it doesn't make you laugh, square it away that that's the intent, you know?
Yeah, or if you're really upset, maybe have a private conversation with someone, and then you know they still shouldn't do anything about it. But the intent, and then also if someone else has a difference of opinion, that doesn't mean you then get to attack them. I guess it does. You do what you want, but it makes you look an idiot.
Yeah, that's it. It does. It makes you like an absolute prick.
And then threatening various forms of punishment to someone not really involved was ridiculous. And you know, it's all gone quieter because this post was removed, and I was forming my response as it was being removed. And it wasn't going to be good. It certainly wasn't going to be good for me, the local community. But you know, what are you going to do? Ban me from places I'd never asked to?
Yeah, in it.
Okay, it's like Russia banning fucking Boris. No, it's a fine.
Yeah, in it.
Wasn't coming anyway.
Yeah, one planning on coming. Yeah.
I was going to take one for the team, being a non. But I did a couple of tweets about it, and one of them actually deleted because I had a couple of beers. It's not uncommon, but I try not to delete anything. But it did. I was talking about, again, like walking into an open mic with an assault rifle, and I thought that could be taken as a threat of violence, and I just don't want to get suspended from Twitter. If someone just reports it and says, "Oh, I'm being threatened," but I did leave the second two up, which I didn't know, because you can delete the first one and then the second two in that thread are still there. So the next two were just about 28-year-olds being funded by their parents, and the High Council being made up of those people, and drama students haven't been put down correctly yet.
Yeah, that's about right. That is about right. Like, it's a bit sickening to see that, actually. So, like, we all know that comedy doesn't pay. It really does not pay. And the only people that are making it work as a job are those people that are sort of trust funded and supported by wealthy parents. I don't know what or if there's a solution to that. The UK seems to be perfectly happy with it.
I think there are ways of doing it. You can't be mixing with the drama students. That route is off.
Yeah.
And then taking the show to Edinburgh for 28 days, unless good decent people do it, but unless if you work and save the money, that's going to be tough. But you can do it, or group up with a load of other comics and live somewhere for a month. But there are people going, "Oh, my new show this year, my new show." And it's like, well, all right. I mean, what does your dad feel like when you ask him for this money again? It's like, I'm going to make it next year. You and your mum can celebrate retirement in 2025.
I suppose they just say, well, you whittled down your own inheritance, child.
That's what I hope it is. And when their parents have a fucking aneurysm because of them and then crash their car into the central reservation and the mum gets decapitated and he's waiting, and then he's like, I'm sad, I'll go online for some of this, and then I'm waiting for that check. And I'm going to open a comedy club in Bristol. And then by the way, your inheritance was 5 shows that no one went to see in Edinburgh.
Do you know what? It's probably not even 5 for the normal person. It's probably something like 2. The amount of fucking money. But like, I think it's not going to be relevant in the future, Edinburgh. There's so many alternatives.
What it seems to have become is like too mental. I mean, that COVID year last year was good because it was just locals. There couldn't be any tourists, and there was less of it. So everyone was actually happy and all that. But I went more as a punter the year before, and 2 years before now. Fucking, I forget the years with COVID and shit. And it was just, you walk down the streets and it's just a circus of tourists and circus acts and people. It's too annoying.
Yeah, it's relentless.
Are people going to really see something, or are they going to just go in somewhere because it's raining? So they're going to fill out a room and not really listen to what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose a bit of that is like it is like Glastonbury Festival. There's so much fucking stuff, and you're always going to have some people that just drop in.
Doesn't mean that it's bad, and it doesn't mean you can't have a good thing there. But I think the majority of people, it's fucking it ain't.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, you got stuff like Brighton and Leicester, where you could drive from like our part of the woods to there and back each day.
Brighton looks really good, and I'm at a point where I'm literally throwing a pin at the map of where I want to live in the next couple of months because I'm out of Wales now.
Yeah.
But I was even thinking about this. I probably won't, but one of the options was the South Coast, just because there are a few places down there that are all right. I'm burping away here. Then you've got Brighton's easy to get to. Apparently it's an all right little scene over there as well.
I can imagine
I'd have to go. It's expensive to go down and stay and see what's up.
Yeah, so I can imagine that I can imagine that it invites that sort of super duper progressive attitude, just because of the kind of place Brighton is.
Yeah, I think so as well. I know. Yeah, and I've seen there was a problem with an individual they got banned from that area. But one of the contentions which I had a problem with was like, well, he did a rape joke. It's like, well, it isn't really a reason for someone to go online and fucking blast someone. Other reasons to do that. There are other reasons, but that one shouldn't be.
That's taste, isn't it? That's a question of taste, and yeah, you shouldn't be able to cancel someone just because their taste doesn't align with yours.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to write stuff that's less rapey, and like, because sometimes I remember a while ago looking at something that's like, well, 80% of this has got something to do with child molesting, or
yeah, I had the same sort of thought actually, and I think it just makes you a better joke writer if you don't lean on being horrible.
Yeah, well, I don't mind being. I'll always probably go a little bit horrible, but you don't have to.
Yeah,
you don't have to just talk about that stuff, right? I like it, and you don't have to be explicit. It can be sort of hinted at, with some of my stuff is. But I want to write silly stuff. I want to write. When we did that roast stuff, I enjoyed just the challenge of that. It could be about anything. Ultimately, was always horrible, but it was about different subjects at least.
Yeah, and you can sort of get silly with it as well.
Yeah, So
yeah.
that's, and if you can do that, then you can do it about anything. But it's just sitting down and thinking, oh, I'll write about dogs today.
that is literally it. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a little bit inevitable because it kind of gets boring to just go up and do like horrible jokes that work. There's actually not that much jeopardy in that if you know that people are going to laugh at the horrible bullshit. I find it a bit more exciting just to do new material.
Yeah, no, I like it, and when it works, it's good. And then working it for a couple of months, I enjoy that. So I'll get into some new stuff now, but it's we'll see how it goes across the year. But I'll have a few weeks off for a bit. But I'm just trying to find new places to go up as well, like new areas. I'm nearer where I am now. I'm nearer London. Although, like I said, London's 90% a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
comedy, and there is some good stuff, but it's just and the people, it's a problem. I think there are little gems in there though. You just got to try and get on them, and then if you get on them, then at least they know you. Then so you're more likely to get it on after. But
I think these, like what is it? Is it Beat the Blackout, stuff like that? I've heard from people that they do it, and they've not necessarily won, but the organisers have come up to them and said, "Oh, look, you were really fucking good. We'll put you on." So it's sort of worth. I'm starting to think it's worth doing these crazy. Effectively, it's a gong show, isn't it? It's worth doing them because it's a good way to get your name out there, and the people that organise it do seem to accept that the gong show is a bit of a crapshoot.
Yeah, but I've seen on the other side. I've seen a couple of them where I think it's been the same comic has been on the panel, and it's been like this guy, and he hasn't even really been critiquing anything, or he's just been a dick.
Right.
And then just saying weird stuff as well, like, or get awarding stuff for weird reasons. Like how people's names are spelled. I think it's the same guy. I'm not going to say even where, but two of them I did over there. But not just to me, but I mean, actually the first time he wasn't really to me, but for 10 people that went before me, absolute dick.
Really?
Not even funny, just a dick.
Yeah.
So you get a bit of that as well. So at one point I was like, nah, I'm not doing any more. But then I did one last month. So go up and down with it.
I just think the fucking the money involved now is so expensive just to fucking travel. It's a little bit prohibitive to do it too frequently, and I think I'm just going to sort of concentrate on the local scene, get this routine that's a lot more not family friendly, but better jokes, and then start hitting it hard once I'm really happy with it again. I don't want to start like traveling around whilst I'm working stuff out.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, I did it last year just because it was after COVID.
Yeah.
And living in Wales was a fucking pain in the ass, to be honest with you, because there wasn't much over there I wanted to do. Okay, I've got a couple of things in Bristol, but then even getting a place like Worcester from there was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's tough to get back at a certain time, but yeah, for a bit, I'm going to be nearer sort of southeast, so I can get not just London, I can get there in 30 minutes, and I can get there cheap. So it's not like I can get back as well and don't have to stay anywhere and all that. Don't have to look for a couch or get a cheap fucking hotel just for some bullshit, so I can get back. And then that's going to be the main thing when I move. The main thing, like, where can I get to from here that's good, like 2 or 3 places. And I'll have to sacrifice a couple of places that I really like. But so, I mean, there's plenty of places to go. So it's just try and work out where it's got enough places I can go. Yeah, I'll figure it out. That's my main thing about where I'm going to move. It's like, where can I go and do some shitty jokes?
I remember a while ago someone singing the praises of Milton Keynes because of its central location. So you can get to like most places within 2 hours from Milton Keynes.
Yeah, I mean it's close to. I mean it's an hour from like Birmingham.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Bush and stuff is more like 90 minutes, but it's still within 2 hours. Worcester 2 hours. Yeah, London's an hour if that. Probably get a train in 40 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you got even getting to Bristol is not too bad from somewhere like that. That one will be more like a trek to, like, if we go to Poole or Bournemouth or something. Yes, yeah, it's like
a couple of hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, around that area, it's not far from where I am now. That's like an hour north of it. So, yeah, that's one of the places I'm looking at is near there. But it's just, to be honest, if I go to a place for 2 or 3 days, I just think to myself, I could live here. So now I've got 5 of those places in my head. I'm like, I'm just going to spend some time thinking about it, and I'll just literally go and try it somewhere, see what I can get away with.
Yeah. It depends what you want as well. Like, I'm at the point where living in the city is nice, but I'm not going out drinking all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah, so I hated Cardiff towards the end because I was in the city and I could get everything. One of the best things for me was just I can get any food I want there.
Yeah.
I can just have whatever food I like. I'm close to wherever the station. I'm close to cinema, shit like that.
Yeah.
But where I'm gonna be for a couple of months, going away, but sort of either side of that, it is in the countryside, but it is on the tube as well, so I can get into bigger towns.
Yeah, that's all right. As long as it's connected.
And I'm readjusting to it a bit because it's fucking quiet. But I can walk down the middle of the road in some places at night because there's no traffic.
Yeah.
So it's completely different, and there's less stuff. I can get less. There's 2 shops I can go to. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like 100.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the same. I don't really want to live in the city, but I will do it for a bit if I have to. But still, I'd rather live on the outskirts of it.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm at now. Like suburbs.
Well, Bristol's got a lot of places. When I was looking at Bristol, and that's still on a list, but there's a couple of reasons why I might not want to go there. Was places out? Well, they're not the idiots. Yeah, they can do me all they like, but I'll do what I want anyway. But yeah, I don't. I will get a gun. I will go and buy a gun. So I'll do. And it'll just be over one night for everybody. But it's not a threat, by the way. It's a joke. Poorly judged joke. But no, I know a lot of people there. It's good. There's some good comedy nights there. It's a pretty good place. You know, I can get to the Midlands a lot easier. I like the Midlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it is also on a list. But I kind of want to do something different as well because I know Bristol really well, like the town.
Yeah.
I kind of want a new place, like something I don't really know that well.
Yeah, I mean,
get to know a new area.
It sort of just becomes inspirational, doesn't it? Like, if you go to a new place, you're just like, oh fuck, I have stuff to write about just because this is new. Whereas, like with Bristol, like I'm finding that I'm doing stuff about Bristol now, but you have to work for it. Whereas if you go to a new place, stuff can just sort of come at you.
Yeah, and you haven't got the like previous baggage of other people's opinions of you 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like,
Yeah.
you haven't upset everyone yet. You haven't, But yeah, even when I was down on the south coast, hey Husky Boyo, how are you doing? Someone's watching right now. It's Brett Brock. He's a fantastic artist. If you see my little stupid profile picture, Brett drew that. He's done
That's him, Husky Boyo.
Yeah, so he does a lot of stuff live streaming his art on Twitch and stuff. Done a lot of tour posters for Stanhope and all that crew.
Lad.
Yeah, he does some good shit. Cheers for watching, and Christina's there as well from Denmark. So people actually watch us these days.
Hey.
I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, places to live. Yeah, I mean, I spent just for a break as well, but I got this cheapest fucking shittest place to stay in the world above a bar that wasn't even open in Portsmouth in Southsea. Yeah. It was like a hostel prices, but I was the only one in the building, I think.
That's scary. That's like
I ended up because I had 2 gigs that I wanted to do down there, just not for the reasons of the gigs, but for they might be advantageous. But then there was this other open mic popped up on the second night, so one night I did 2 gigs. By the time I got to that, I was a little bit tipsy, but it was fun. That's the one. I did tell you. That's the one where a comic, went after a table of audience members and accused them of trying to rape her. But I'm in a really funny way that upset the entire management team of the pub.
And then she got cussed out by the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did something like that. That's fucking
phenomenal.
Mental. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. Good on her.
Yeah, I went up and was the first set of that night. Actually, I was very sober and it went well. And that one, I listened to it back and I was drunk. But it was, it was a rough place where, like, as I went up, I think 30 people that looked like they were all drug dealers came in. So I basically said it's as if everyone that's gone up tonight ordered their own drug dealer, and here they all are as they came in. But it's one of a rough place. But when they got back from there, it was a nice day. They've got palm trees down there in places. How parts of England can deceive you. The sun was out, and I'm thinking it's a bit Mediterranean down here. And most of the time it's raining. Who am I kidding? But I was like, I could live down here for a bit. There's quite a lot. All right, some of them are in these, rough pubs where you might get a bottle thrown at you. But I could maybe do this for 6 months and see how it goes. So I was kind of romanticizing it, but it is on the list again. But I've moved on from there for now, and I don't know, it might pop back up over the next couple of months. It's sort of everything's moving up and down the league of where I want to move to.
Yeah.
I feel like if it doesn't work, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's just an experiment, isn't it? Worth trying. I feel like in that part of the world, I don't know where the gigs are that are in between proper theatre venue, right, and horrible, scummy pub back room. Where's the in between there? Because I can certainly think of those places in Bristol other places.
That's a problem. There's a lot of the scummy things.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on anyone that's running it, because you've got the venue you've got, right? But there is a couple, but I need to investigate a bit more, because there are some people down there that are getting reasonable stuff, little bits of paid stuff, and a bit more proper.
Yeah, that's good.
They're in Southampton and stuff, so they're quite close together. They're 20 minutes away, Portsmouth from Southampton, and then Brighton's not too far. It's drivable from Portsmouth. Winchester's got a couple of good nights, and it's a little town. So I don't know. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. So that's another thing. I don't want to be anywhere where it's just like open mic. It might stab. I want to be able to like get better gigs. I want to do better.
I think
at least if they look better, even if they look better, give me some lights, like where it's not just animals stood up on cocaine.
I think there's something to be said as well for like there are good gigs in like this one I was saying about in Bath, right? There are good gigs that are like just out in the sticks, and these are places where, like, I remember thinking, like, these people probably haven't been to a comedy night since lockdown. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of that starting to pop up, I think, because people are just a lot more up for it. So I don't know how you find these fucking things.
On the other hand, you could probably put a little website up as a roast comic and advertise yourself to stag parties for £400 a pop. You might get beaten up. You might get glass.
I don't know if there's a might in that, really. I think it's more like you will, you know.
But those, you know, a lot of the comics that get hired for those gigs, they're not that good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just need to have a bit more material. But if it's specifically a roast, there's quite a few of us that could, or if two of you went, you could easily write 40 jokes about 4 people or 5 people.
Yeah.
Just go give me everything they've ever done. Or did they go to prison for fucking a dog? Good.
Yeah.
But then you know that someone is going to have drunk 18 pints and coke, and they've just had a breakup, and they.
That puts the fear of God into me. The gig that you're describing.
That kind of stuff isn't artistic. Do you know what I mean? It's not. You're not really developing great, trying to get a good act and stuff. But it might be a irregular. Not just that, but there might be other stuff a bit like that. But some sort of income that gets you in. I don't know, on a certain circuit. And I don't think you have to be that fucking good. There's probably a lot of people around sort of our level that are more than good to do that. If not next year, if not this year, like next year or something. But I mean, not to be necessarily ignored. I think there are comics out there that go to like little like in the sticks community centres that don't really have any sort of following even, but there's a comedy night coming to your community centre.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you just go along? Yeah,
you've got to have everything. You've got to have a good PA and lights and all that shit. And it might have to do a deal with the place. Can you do a bring your own booze? Will they do it on the bar? Do you keep all the ticket money? You know, you have to have that sort of conversation. But there are comics that make it probably an all right living just doing that, just driving to fucking Shepton Mallet community centre and getting 50 idiots in there. They might all be 65, or they might all be, you know, weirdos. But
you know, you do it. You take the money, get the fuck out.
What live comedy do they ever see? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, what's that little wanker's name? He's famous, so it's all right.
Hang on, in comedy.
Yeah. You know.
Which one of the 99%?
Yeah. Andrew Lawrence. Oh, Andrew. Oh, yes. And he used to do community centres very successfully up until when he obviously binned off his entire career through racist tweets or whatever.
Okay, I know you.
Do you remember him? Yeah.
Yes.
And like, I feel like obviously it was quite a few years ago because he started having a much more online sketch-based presence of debatable quality. But prior to that, he was doing exactly what you're describing, going around the fucking little community centres, and because he'd been on TV twice, people would flock there. So he made a good living, I understand, from that. I think that's probably what a lot of people will end up doing.
I mean, he's got 70,000 followers on Twitter. He's still. It looks like he's got Patreon. He's gigging. He's obviously got cut off for the mainstream clubs and stuff for a while. He went hard on some stupid shit over the last couple of years, and then you're right. Sketches of dubious quality, I'd say, like awful sketches actually.
Yeah, they're just not funny.
But I'm sure he's probably still making an alright living from all the stuff that he's doing, because he's still got a lot of maniacs that follow him. But you know, but someone like that could still easily do a community centre thing, you know. It's not a club, is it? It's not someone with a reputation that's got to have like, oh, we can't have anyone with a problem here.
I suppose the thing is, if you've got 70,000 people following you, if you can get them to give you 50p a year, that's all right.
Even if you think that like 10% might come out, that's 7,000.
Yeah.
And, tenner a ticket at a community centre in the UK. You know, do you know what I mean? That's the living.
Yeah. Maybe you're spending like half your money on promo and blah blah blah, but it's not.
And you're right, because he did. I think you sent it to me a few years ago. He did a really good interview about, you know, what cancel culture. I guess I'd say like that sort of stuff. But it was really good. I thought it was a really good interview.
Spiked one, wasn't it?
Might have been.
I think it might have been. Yeah, it's just a shame, really. He was very, very funny for a while. He really was. There's a bit where he's like, he's cussing out loads of comedians that have been like disparaging of him, and it's fucking brutal. It's very, very funny, but like his punishment is that for the rest of his life he will only be gigging to those people.
But like that's the problem, then, isn't it? It's hard to like normal. Look at his. I don't think he'll have his public earnings because it'll probably be he's got yeah, I'm on his Patreon because some I'm not logged in. That might be why. Because some Patreon people basically show how much money they make a month. Like Tim Dillon makes 20 grand a month or whatever it is. He has it on there. Like how much it is. I think it might be 30 grand a month now. But he went from nothing in 5 years to that. Because 5 years ago, I knew who he was because he was on Needs and the Skanks all the time, and no one else was really putting him on.
Right.
And then they gave Gas Digital Lewis Gomez's thing gave him a podcast a few years ago called Tim Dillon Goes to Hell, and it was small, but they paid for it. They gave him all the money and promo, built up, and he left and went on his own.
Right.
And it was still quite small, but then in like 3 years, it's gone from whatever to a massive Patreon because YouTube demonetized him straight away because of what he said.
You think?
But he still gets advertisers, and he gets his Patreon, which obviously makes him several $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And the touring stuff he's getting. I went to see him 2 weeks ago. He's obviously touring all over now, so he's raking it in.
So where did you see it?
London, at the British Empire. It was. I'd never been there before. It's smaller than I thought, actually. And it was a bit of a pain. I saw him on an early show, and he didn't do as much time as I would have thought, but his opener did more, and his opener was someone I didn't know was coming. It was a guy, I spoke to him on that Podathon thing. It's Sam Talent, who wrote a book about comedy called Running the Light. I sent it to you guys. So he opened for him, and he did 30 minutes. So it was like, okay. So obviously, because Dylan wanted to do less, because it was, go on, sorry.
I was just say what, stand-up, or like the book, or...
Yeah, no, Talent came on and did 30 minutes of stand-up. Dylan came on and did 45. And they were both phenomenal. There was a lot of... Because you never know how like a London audience is going to react to some of that stuff. Because you got 30 to 40% of it never would have heard of them because it's just someone's date, right? That's gone towards the show. A lot of stuff that I thought would have a problem got laughs, even if it was like guilty laughs.
Right.
Then a couple of things both of them did had almost complete silence in the theatre, which I found really interesting. I can't remember what they were, but it wasn't like major crazy stuff. But then at one point, he stopped something. He goes, "Right, trans kids." And the whole thing was like, I can't even remember what the bit was, but it wasn't that bad. But it was just like funny to watch, like complete like fear.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
But yeah, it was a really, really, really good show. I'm glad I got to see it because I was thinking the other day, like people should go. I only got that last minute as well, and I got like one. But if like Shane Gillis is coming here next month when I'm away, which I'm gutted about.
Oh fuck.
But I think people should go and watch. Because go and watch a comic that's actually doing it and doing it well at least once. Yeah. Because I do go and see a lot of them, but a lot of people think, no, I'm not going to go and do that. But why wouldn't you? It's like if you play football, why wouldn't you go into a proper football game at least once?
Exactly, right.
Look how well this person is doing it.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. I went and saw Dylan Moran recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that was good because like he comes on and obviously there's all this fucking bullshit in Ukraine, and when we saw him it only just started, and I think it was a fairly early date in his tour, and he started the show by sort of talking about that, going, "Oh, it's a bit fucking weird at the minute," and it was very obvious that it was not going to plan. And at the first break, he was like, "Right, okay, we're going to have a break because I need to have a break because these jokes are coming so thick and fast." And like in the second bit, he was much more structured and on it. But it was interesting to see someone not getting the laughs and just rolling with it and not getting flustered, not, almost not giving a fuck, just being like, "This is happening."
Yeah, because they all, like, a lot of the bigger names and stuff, when they're on a big tour, they're often like still working out a bit, so that they'll be thinking about filming a special in 18 months.
Yeah,
so they've got most of it. They've got 35 minutes. The other 20 could be changing every night. It could be new stuff, and they're trying to nail it down and build it up. So you could see someone that is, not everything lands, but it's not. It's also nice to know that. It's nice to know. I'm sure it doesn't happen very often, but I listened to Bear a couple of years ago on his podcast, and he was saying, "Yeah, he fucking bombed. He went to some Midwest place in US and bombed half his set, and he's like, they weren't fucking buying it. They just weren't picking it up."
Yeah,
which is nice. It's nice to know it happens, and it's nice to know he just sits there and fucking deals with it.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's. I think it's important to see that kind of shit, and it's just a shame it's so fucking expensive, isn't it?
It is, but you can look out for. I mean, I don't know what I paid. I probably paid like 35 for Dylan, and I didn't expect him even to have an open. Only did, so it's like I got to see two pretty good comics, one very good comic, and I think that's worth it because I didn't even buy that many drinks. I bought a couple of drinks and then got raped for it in Shepherd's Bush Empire and waited like half an hour. But I actually had a couple of pre-drinks in the pub around the corner, and I found £3.55 pints in central London.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's cheaper than
Bristol. It was a kind of pub where you've got to look around because they all think you're a copper.
Yeah,
they're all in tracksuits playing the fruit machine, but it was in there aren't many of those pubs left in central London. This is right next to Shepherd's Bush Empire.
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to sit in here, make sure I don't get stabbed, and just buy a couple of these cheap pints. Yeah, it's nice to see. But then immediately went into the place, got two, and it was like 14 quid. I was like, I'll see you later.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's disgusting, man.
What the fuck?
And I waited half an hour because they were just terrible bar staff. But yeah, that's the one. But you can get tickets for if you look around, especially if you're in the area, you can get tickets on the day for cheap because always, if it's a bigger place, there's always tickets for sale. If you look on the Facebook group for that event, Google like whatever it is, Shepherd's Bush Empire, there'll be people go, anyone wants tickets, can't go.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times for a couple. I think I did it with Segura, and I think I did it got a ticket for like 15 quid.
Oh fuck!
On the day, and I went to a place where they were having dinner. Someone they were going with couldn't go. I went into the restaurant next door, paid 15 quid and ticket, and went in. I've done it for a few music gigs as well, just on the day. If obviously it's not somewhere you can travel for, but
yeah, no, yeah,
it's always a little bar. But a lot of stuff I don't see. I don't even see. I follow a lot of these comics, and I don't even see that they're coming to UK sometimes. I'm like, the last time Louis came here properly, I didn't know about it.
Really?
I was like, how the fuck did I didn't see any of these adverts?
Do you reckon that's maybe because he was keeping it quiet?
No, this was before that.
Right.
Before that. So this was like 2015 or something. And I was well into all of his stuff at the time. For some reason, then I saw like, he was at the O2 last night, was he? Good. Wouldn't have liked to go on to see that. So I'm trying to pay more attention. But the one way he was trying to be quiet got cancelled because people were protesting outside fucking whatever club in Manchester he was going to do. Right.
Okay.
But he's coming back next year for sure. So
yeah, I mean, what did he win recently?
Grammy.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, he's back. That's it.
I believe he won it for the album before this, so it's the one he did just after lockdown, just before. It wasn't even the really good one that he just done. So if you won it for that, I can't see him not winning for this one next year.
Yeah, yeah.
So
To be fair,
there's going to be a few more little opinion pieces coming out about that. This proves cancel culture doesn't exist.
I tell you what, I've got a thing about cancel culture that I've been sort of trying to work out. So I know that cancel culture doesn't exist, and if it does exist, it's bullshit. And like, you know Belgium,
Yeah.
right?
I nearly shit my pants in Belgium.
The food is awful. I went there, and in Antwerp, right, they've got this thing called chocolate hands, like a nice hand-shaped bit of chocolate made out of delicious Belgian chocolate. Lovely, right? Ooh, yum, yum, yum. But, right, it was Belgium that took over the Congo, and wasn't it King Leopold who told his soldiers that they had to cut the hands off people that they killed so that they could be repaid, right? Now, that hasn't happened in any other country that I'm aware of. I think it's a bit weird that Belgians eat chocolate hands.
So, yeah, that's. I mean, let's make this handy national snack out of a chocolate hand, because we cut slaves' hands. Yeah, I agree. And also in Belgium, when I was in Brussels, I see you, Napa. I'll answer your question in a second. I'm in the same place I was last time. When I was in Belgium, they've got one of their national things is a naked baby, right? So there's fountains with babies pissing in the fountains.
Yeah,
you go down these little streets and it's all these beautiful Belgian chocolate shops, like perfectly created snacks. And in the middle, there's just a big chocolate naked baby with his dick out. Like, in every window, it's like, that's interesting. It's an interesting choice. Like, and I don't even think there's anything peedy about it, you know? If I was in Rome and I saw a naked chocolate baby, I'd be like, oh, the pedos are out again.
Vatican special.
I think the Belgians are quite nice. They just make nice beer, you know, and like, chocolate hands and naked babies.
You know, yeah. Maybe it's the beer that's led them to these curious decisions. Yeah.
I agree with Napa. I'm in exactly the same place. I've just changed angle because I've got. Yeah, it was uncomfortable for me. I'm sat on a hop up. There's a full length mirror here that I can see my misshapen lower torso hanging over my balls. Tomorrow, I'm traveling tomorrow morning, so I'll be broadcasting from South America later in the week.
What you going to Brazil, innit?
I'm going tomorrow.
Hey.
So it's a long fucking journey, Matt. Well, from door to door, it's gonna be a long way. So I won't be there till Wednesday, sometime Wednesday, because I'm fucking about on waiting and I'm connecting somewhere and got to wait there for a bit. But I brought a cheap flight drunk at Christmas time. So now I've got to pay the price by waiting at some airport for like 4 hours, whatever it is, and then 2 long flights either side.
4 hours is all right. I once had
it'll go. It'll be an hour pissing about at the gate, and then I'll just have a couple of hours in a pub or something. It'll go.
I think I once had one for like 13 hours of stopover, and I was too skint to be able to leave the fucking airport.
Oh, it's a nightmare, and then you can't afford to buy much in there because everything's too expensive.
Yeah, it's horrific.
I do make a point, if I can, of stealing from airports, especially British airports. So any UK police out there, because they rape you as soon as you walk in the airport. They're undoing your belt, aren't they? You walk like towards the shop, and the belt's coming off, and then they're just bending over. You want to buy a bottle of water, £4, mate.
In it, piss off. No, I think that's allowed.
You can't take water through security. Is it because of bombs, or is it because you want me to spend £4 on water the other side of the fucking barrier? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So I always steal from W.H. Smith at any airport I go to. I'll get
I think that's fair.
Because you always self-scan and you have to scan your boarding pass, but they're always busy. There's no fucking security there. The police, the armed police are busily profiling, Muslims and now Russian-looking people all over the airport. So I'm just in there with a film magazine, a bottle of water, and a sandwich. One of those things I am paying for.
Yeah, I think that's allowed.
Hold under my arm and pay. And do you know what I forget, Carl? I'll pretend to be tired because I'm travelling, confused. Oh my god, I'll pay for this now. Or the ultimate card, retarded. Right? It'll be like, oh, mommy says food. And then
I bet if you do that and you act retarded, I bet they take your boarding pass off you because your carer has left you alone.
I'll try to get a first class out of it. I'll say, look, just pull your trousers down if it can I have a first class ticket, and then pull them up if they say yes. Keep trying to train them into doing that. That's fine. I'll clip this and put it on Instagram and tag the Bristol comedy scene. If you've got a problem with me saying retard, I'll burn your house down. I won't. That's a joke. It's a joke. I won't.
I love that Norm Macdonald bit where he gets in trouble because he didn't want to say the word retarded. So he says, like, you'd have to have Down syndrome to be that stupid.
Great. Technically, that's the most politically correct you could say that.
Yeah. No, it's inarguable, isn't it? Totally. But like, that's perfect use of the word.
It is good, and I like Down syndrome people. We like last time when you had you and Greg on here before. We looked at Down syndrome cats.
Yes, we did. Since
maybe
then,
no. I think it was you and Dave and everyone at the beginning of the year. Yeah, we looked at Down syndrome cats and Google images. They're fantastic. Yeah. They're fantastic.
Have you seen the cooking show with two chaps who have Down syndrome?
It's called. That's not the breakfast one, is it?
It's the Theo Von does a bit about it. It's worth the watch. It's worth the watch. They're better at cooking than you'd have thought, man. I tell you.
Well, the sauce never gets too dry.
No, I'd cook their recipes. I will one day. Like, it's worth the watch. Yeah.
No, honestly, no. Of course, I'm sure they bring valuable things, and I will watch it. Jeffrey sends us quite a lot of good videos. He's a fan of the DS TikTok.
Yeah. That the stuff from that pub seems to have quieted down a bit, doesn't it?
You mean the drag? What the DDS?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I hear someone talk about this years ago. Someone might have been talking about this exact thing. Some comic, I think someone in New York said, "Oh, drag Down syndrome." So, how do you know they're in drag? They've all, you just tell them to dress themselves, and they're 50% got the wrong clothes. Well, that's a great one. Get out of my nightclub. There's a video of us.
Yes.
Inside the Christmas bauble. It's one of the best. It's one of my favourite videos.
That was a funny one. That was a weird gig as well, wasn't it?
That was to someone's mum and dad again.
Yes. Yeah, it was. It was literally. Yeah, it was.
At the time, and then I thought I'd try and it isn't going great, so I try and talk into a table of people which I didn't know was a comic and probably her parents. Which I've seen since, so I didn't know because we got there late. I didn't really know her at the time. I've seen her since. Also with her dad. A quiet gig. So whatever. I'm sure it's all going to go great. Please leave your shoelaces at the bedroom door when you go home tonight. We have to watch her.
Oh man,
I'm a star. But, yeah, that was one of those ones where it took 3 hours for us to get there and 3 hours back, and we were in there for like 90 minutes. And I tried to drink as much as I can in the gig, and then but the car ride was one of the funniest things. I couldn't even tell you what we were talking about, but the car. We needed to have petrol, and we all needed a piss. Multiple times on the way back. Pissing in fields, and then your missus lost her phone, and there was a big panic. And we're like,
oh, that was so bad.
The car ride was hilarious because it was just the funniest, like 3 absolute monsters. Whilst your wife was trying to sleep in the back, like either side of the gig, just the most heinous things in the world.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good drive.
at least that was fun. So if it would have been a boring drive with comics you don't like, then it would have been even more awful.
Oh, there's nothing worse. There's really nothing worse than being in a car with someone to do a gig and you don't want to be there. You know what I mean? And it's even worse if the gig is okay. It's all right. If the gig's shit, you've got something to talk about on the way back.
Yeah, it's all shit, and you kind of expect that.
Yeah.
If the gig's good, then it's kind of like, oh no. It's kind of had a nice time, but
yeah,
I do want to kill myself. I do want to grab that steering wheel and pull it into a tree. I mean, statistically, one of us might survive, and it might be me.
I'm just going to duck for a piss, all right? 2 takes. All this piss talk. Right.
Yeah, go for it, man. Tan my testicles, Nappo. Yeah, I saw all that going on Twitter today briefly. I've not been online a lot, but I will try. I've got to shave them first, to get in the air. I'm sure you know about this. Getting a couple of grey hairs poking out there now, so they've got to be with my Gillette, which is right up there. I'm looking at it. I've got so much to do today, and I've just sank 3 beers as well. So there we go. This won't be 7 hours. This will be like 90 minutes. Hope everyone's audio is good today. We had a little bit of a problem just before George came on with his stuff. But yeah, this was couldn't time this. We literally decided what time to do it at 3:30. So it was just difficult to get schedules, and it's a bank holiday weekend here, so there's holidays Friday and Monday, so everyone's drinking all weekend, so it's hard to pin comedians down on a weekend like this. So there we go, but it's been anxiety reduced. And by the way, Wednesday there will almost certainly be something Wednesday from Sao Paulo. It might just be me. We'll see. I've got like a 29-hour journey door to door, and then I've got another journey into a city which might take an hour. But when I get checked into the hotel within an hour, I'll probably be broadcasting. So we will see. Similar time maybe on Wednesday. I'll have to update you on Twitter. But there we go. That's my one-man discussion. I'll hear him coming back. That's all. Be easy to wait, won't it? Yeah. That's a beer. He's getting a beer. I've woke up on his sofa many a time. Many a time.
Right, sorry, mate.
No problem, mate. You go and pee. It's all good. I've got a few beers here, so it was nice. I've got stuff to do later, but it's one of those things where I thought it's a bank holiday. I'm going away tomorrow. I'm just going to day drink and try and deal with my responsibilities later. I may or may not do this. You might just start getting weird texts from me at 1 a.m. in the group chat.
That'd be unlike you.
I know.
Yeah.
The worst one is when you text people that you haven't spoken to in like 7 years. I just get these weird sort of neural things fire at 1 a.m. when I've had about 100 drinks. And I don't know. But I'm always more worried than I should be, because most of the time it isn't. When you see a reply from someone, you're like, oh no. For some reason, I do manage to control myself enough that it's not that bad. When I read it back, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And it's not just slurs. It's reasonably grammatically correct.
Just hate.
Yeah.
I sent a load of gig pictures to someone who had this person's name. Their full name is like 2 first names. Do you know what I mean? Like his surname sounds like a Christian name,
right?
Like
Johnny Cuthbert.
Yeah, Steve Edwards or something like that.
Right.
And so Johnny Cuthbert came to do the gig, and I sent the pictures of Johnny Cuthbert to Cuthbert Johnny. And I got this message back just saying, interesting. And it took me so long to work out why this guy was being a cunt.
Yeah, like, what do you mean you asked for these?
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be helpful.
Exactly. I was like, you absolute turd. And then I went back through and I hadn't spoken to this person for about 8 years.
Oh, so you knew the reverse of
I
the
knew
name.
him. Yeah. But like, definitely hadn't spoken to him for almost a decade. Oh well.
Yeah, I don't know what the longest. There's been some at least 7 year non-communication gaps, and I've decided now's a good time. I'm in Finland. I've had 9 pints. Now's the time to get some rapport.
In Finland.
Oh. Yeah, well, I mean, when I went there, I didn't spend barely any money. I did lots of wholesome things, mainly because the Finnish person I was visiting was very wholesome, like most Finns are. So I was like, I just went to a national park, went on a bike ride, ate some Vietnamese food, spent fuck all, right, on the Friday, Saturday. Prices were all cheap. On the Sunday, so we dragged through sauna and fucking jumping in the sea and in and out of the sauna. I was on my own for a few hours, so I'm like, I'll get a pizza in the hotel. Why not? Get that delivered on their equivalent of Uber Eats. And I'll go out on that nice little craft pub over the road that I've seen and have a couple of beers. And of course, it's horrendously expensive. So now I'm starting to spend money because it's like fucking £9 a pint or something. But I'm like, I haven't spent anything all weekend. I'm like, fuck it. I'll sit in here, talk to the Finnish guy behind the counter. It was a very eclectic place. So the whole behind the bar was just full of beer from all over the world. He said, we don't know what we'll be selling. We just get a shipment. And then we just sell that. So I don't know if it's just random shit from all over the world. But he even had a can of like Foster's from like 1994 up on the side. And it was, to buy it was like £100. You know what I mean? It's like an aged Foster's from a lot of nice stuff. But yeah, so I'm knocking, a couple of locals in there, a couple of barmen, and getting on with them, or I'm just annoying them, whatever. And then I just start texting people. I'm like, right, now's the time to rekindle friendships and relationships that are long past the sell-by date. So that took a while.
I've had a similar one. I went to Oslo to see a friend, and when I got there, she was not contactable for the first day. Something had happened.
No.
So I think something had happened to her phone, and then she was at work. So I was like, right, brilliant. Can't get hold of her. I'm in Oslo though, so I guess I'm going out getting drunk. And yeah, it's
let's go for a drink on our own. That's what British people do.
Exactly, of course you do. Bumped into some lovely Norwegians and ended up doing a load of MDMA with them. So it's
perfect.
Not all bad. But
you you never know those random nights. So it's like
that's
those
it,
random ones, but they don't happen as often as you remember. So a lot of the time, it just ends up with me drinking on my own and then getting a bit upset and getting a sandwich and going back to a hotel and shitting myself.
Carry on.
Party on, dude. It's just I hate texting, I hate tweeting. But I'm coming around to kill you with a gun. Don't take it as a threat.
There's nothing more depressing than eating food in a hotel room, is there?
So it can be. I did enjoy that pizza though, because it was I'd exercised quite a lot. I guess walking around this national park, and I've been to a sauna that day for like 4 hours. It was insane. I just felt the most relaxed I'd ever felt, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to eat a nice pizza on my own. I'd been with people all weekend, so I didn't, I wasn't feeling too lonely. I enjoyed that and had a couple of beers in there. I don't know, but yeah, sometimes where you're like, I've been in hotels in London, like horrible cheap hotels. Oh, fuck me. I was in one, might have even been like the day after Finland or something. I just decided to stay in this cheap, horrible place. And it's like, it looks okay from reception, but then you go upstairs and it's not. And then you've got an empty blanket. And then you can hear people in the next room. And the guy in the next room, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was terrified for 2 hours. I wouldn't even go back to sleep. I thought, is someone being... I was going between, like, there's been ISIS next door doing some sort of, base sacrifice, or someone's killed his wife, or someone... It's the beginning of the Ukraine thing. I thought maybe it's some Ukrainian dude and he's hearing that his son died or something. But it was wailing.
Fuck.
And banging. And it sounded like, shall I go to reception? Do I call the police?
Yeah.
It was going on for like 2 hours. I didn't know if he was on the phone. I didn't know whether, but it was in like foreign. I don't know. Is he on the phone? Is he wailing to himself? Is he killing his wife in the bath and shouting at her? I was like, being British, I did nothing.
No, quite right.
I lay there for ages, just because I've been going to sleep listening to white noise for a while. It's like it just flattens my brain out. But for a couple of hours, the only reason I didn't do that immediately, I thought, are they going to come in here? Do they think there's a witness now? Because I got up and I was pissed. I was like, it felt like there's been a murder next door. I don't know. But in the end, after 2 hours, I did just put the white noise in and go back to sleep. And I woke up the next morning. So I never knew what happened in room 31 or whatever. But I'd seen on the way out to go to a pub, I'd seen this, I'm profiling this, certain individual come in with a really young daughter, like 3,
right.
4. So partly in my head, I'm like, has he killed the kid?
Oh my fuck.
Has he hit the kid and she's hit her head and now she's dead by accident? I still did nothing, by the way. I want to point out that I did nothing at all.
No, I wouldn't do anything, I don't think. Like, maybe if I was getting woken up, I would ring reception. But like,
yeah, if I saw it, you know what I mean, then, but I just didn't know. And it's in the middle of the night, I was half drunk. But that, it just reminded me, because earlier that night I was in that itchy bed, just eating a sad wrap, like crisps. This is my big night out in London.
This is the life. I used to do it a lot. I used to work away from home and live in hotels Monday to Thursday.
Right.
And I get, it's not a fun way to be. Like, you know what I mean? You have to wonder
Even
if
go on.
I was just saying, I have to wonder if some of these old comics that are dying as of late, they find them dead in hotel rooms. They're probably just dying of sad.
Yeah. Even if you've made it and you're making money and you're like in nice hotels all the time, though, that's still going to be sad. It's still a sad existence. You're on your own. You've literally got fuck all to do. Even if you're in a nice hotel, there's always going to be someone getting beaten up in another room. Some weird shit's happening. The staff don't give a shit. They literally look at you as a plank of wood coming in. They don't care if you die. They're like, ID, toilet's open, is it? No one cares. It's just a soulless fucking place. Even the Hilton or the Four Seasons, it's shit. Yeah. It's all shit. Yeah. But it makes it worse if it is an itchy blanket, though, and it feels like you might get stabbed. When I went to Finland, I paid a bit more and actually stayed in a nice place for once. It was all right, comfortable and all that. But it still feels like any one of these identical doors down this corridor, like a hooker's getting murdered.
As long as it's quiet, it's okay.
That's what I'd say. As long as it doesn't actually wake me up.
I prefer a bed and breakfast. That's what I prefer.
I understand it. There's less and less of them around.
Yeah.
I used to do that. Yeah, when I was younger with the family and stuff, and then a little bit when we're 18, we go to Newquay, go to a B&B. Yeah, you get this weird old couple. They'll kick you a fry up.
Yeah, exactly.
Extra eggs because you've been nice.
Yes, so please, exactly. Yeah. I think it's much nicer. Much nicer.
From that aspect, because there's nothing worse than like going to a Premier Inn and paying 12 quid for a fucking 2 microwave sausages.
Yeah, in
4 beans and a microwave egg. Did I ever tell you about long egg?
Go on.
It's a roll of egg, like a big roll of egg. When I worked behind the bar at the Lee Comedy Club, their egg was long egg. It came as long egg in a box.
That sounds fucking rank.
It literally reconstituted egg, and I don't know how they made it so it's yellow in the middle again.
Oh my fuck! That's
but it's vile. A tube of egg, and what they do, chop it up, warm it up, and that either goes in a burger, like an egg burger, or however else people are eating eggs at 8 p.m. when they're drunk.
Fuck! That's the worst thing I've heard. That's awful. Yeah. Long egg.
Comedy clubs exist to serve you horrendous food, and because it was so shit to work there. I never ate long egg, but I was at the break, and I was skint at the time, so that you would be able to eat the spare food that was left over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So curly fries, all that stuff. So that was, yeah. They just sell you, and they'll charge. You know, you pay 15 quid to go out with the Glee, and they'll charge you another 15, 20 for some long egg and some curly fries.
Mental fucking Christ.
And
That
they
must
did
cost
these
them about
jars.
50p.
It was very interesting to watch it from the other side because they charge there are these cocktails in a jug, which, you know, spend 20 quid on a big cocktail jug. Fucking no spirits. You get like 3-4 shots, or maybe 3, and then like a fake one, like Curacao or something.
Oh my God.
8%, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is ice, and either soda water or lemonade or a combination of the two, in a 4-pint or 8-pint jug, whatever it is. And you just put lemon on the side and a straw, and then sometimes a sparkler.
Oh my
And
fuck.
then what I describe as Prosecco's. Take this cocktail, and they give you lots of money for it, and then they'll have a nice time. And sometimes they'll buy 10 of these things at a table.
Fuck.
And you knew when you were making it how fraudulent it was. Like, you make it under the thing. You go and get all the shots, and I put it in. You go, I wouldn't. This is just 8 pints of soda water, and it's got 4 shots in it. And you're sharing this between 6 people.
Fucking hell.
They went like hotcakes.
I bet they did, yeah.
On a Friday night at Christmas, and all the office parties are out. And they were the worst things to make. They took ages, and everyone's complaining, the bars getting stuffed up. It's just, yeah. The good thing about working there, though, the management, not only did the management confiscate cocaine from people and share it amongst the staff after, allegedly. Sorry, did I say which? But any drink that you mistakenly poured, you could put around the back and you could drink it.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
And staff were allowed to drink past 9 p.m. So the show still goes. You still work until 11, but as soon as it hit 9, you can have a drink, as long as it's not obvious.
Yeah.
So if you fancied a drink, you just, I accidentally poured a double rum and coke instead of a double JD and coke, so I'll have to put this there and just tell everyone that's a mistake. I'm going to drink that later. And then so by the time you get to 9:10, I've got a little row of drinks there. Tables would leave early, and they would buy 6 bottles of Prosecco and open 3 and leave the other 3.
It's weird, isn't it? I don't understand why people do that.
Because they got bigger ideas. They get there with bigger ideas, and Stacey's being sick at 8:30 and not listening.
Yeah.
So they've all got to leave. So we would go and minesweep all the unopened Prosecco, and that would also get put around the back. So then after the shifts, that would be for the staff drinks. So when it's all cleared out, we'll just get a wanker.
I used to do that at, when I was a student. I worked at Cheltenham Town Hall, and they used to. I don't think they do it in many places now, but it's very old school. So when there's a show, you put an order at the bar, and then the bar pours all your drinks and puts them on a tray, and you go and get them in the interval. And it's I mean, it sounds like a date rapist's walking playground, really. But people would have the same sort of thing where they'd order about 4 bottles of wine and then only have 1. And I used to have this coat with huge pockets that I bought especially so that I could put 2 wine bottles in my coat and walk out of work and get pissed.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But yeah, we would have 3 hours of staff party after we'd all cleaned up and put out. So we'd have beer pong and all that shit going on, with all these stolen drinks. And then we would get 1 staff drink each, and I would just have 6 of those. One, the big boss was never there all the time, and secondly, when he was there, once I'd had 14 drinks, I find me then, because I'm going to get another one. Yeah,
I think everyone should work at a pub or a bar.
I agree. I worked at my local when I was 20, and that was weird because I was drunk in it for years. When I worked there, it was different because then all the locals were asking you for freebies and stuff. But actually, I'm glad I did, because you saw the other side of it. You saw how nuts everyone was. It made me on the whole, I treat bar staff very well.
Yeah.
I know what it's like. You know, these idiots all over the place. Yeah, I've worked in a bar and I've worked in a nightclub for 1 night and never went back. It was awful. There was a phone party.
Oh, I wouldn't want to do a nightclub. No way.
I got about 30 drinks brought for me because I was so quick serving people. But I never went back, so I never got any of them.
Yeah.
But then the comedy club was fun for about 3 months, and I just needed a job at the time. But I was depressed and everything. Suicidal. Couldn't eat. So I'm stealing long egg when no one's looking for long egg.
I want to know how much long. I'm going to Google how much a long egg fucking costs.
I don't think I ever Googled it. It was sort of maybe an industry. Yeah, it is. It comes up on Google Images. I'm gonna. This will look weird for a second, but I'm gonna bring this up. It will look weird because I've not got 2 monitors, so we're gonna look infinite for a second.
Right.
Just 1 second. There we go. There.
That's fucked. That is fucking disgusting.
Look at this dude.
Oh my fuck.
So
why?
when you buy an egg burger at a comedy club, or I suspect a service station, or and it looks reasonable, because if you look at this, oh no, maybe that's just a hard boil, but I reckon, if it's on a plate with a fry up, you'd know. But if it's in a burger, most people wouldn't even look.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough. Like, why though? Why does it? I mean, I suppose it's easily prepared. That's fuck. That's
so
really,
reconstituted meat is because they get a whole cow, they put it through a grinder, or whatever. They get. It's not even the cow; it's hooves and nose.
Yeah.
And you can't do brain, but just about everything else you just put through a grinder. Then make it look like a slice of ham. They sell it for like 89p a packet. I guess long egg is the same, but
eggs are cheap though, man. Eggs are not fucking beef is expensive. Like, who needs that? Yeah, eggs are.
It is weird because I'm sure you could buy wholesale eggs at 1,000 and put them all to 5 comedy clubs.
Sorry, I just got to.
You go and do what you need to do. You go and do what you need to do.
That's all right.
The prostitute has escaped.
Exactly. Got to cut its legs off or something. Yeah.
But yeah, they are cheap. And so, wouldn't you rather that your customers had nice food? Or they didn't have to be. You don't expect brilliant food at a comedy club, but wouldn't you rather they had slightly nicer food?
Yeah. Well, maybe they. Oh fuck! I don't know. I suppose that's the ugly side of having a comedy club as your business, isn't it? You've still got a bottom line to maintain.
Well, my idea for what, if I ever come into a lot of money, I'll probably do it and then hang myself after I'm in horrendous debt. But I'd do an obliterator and just kill everyone that I knew, and then myself and some police.
Go on. Tell me more.
do a full obliterator. But the way I was thinking about it was, okay, you just get a bar with good spaces that is the comedy club, and you can do an open mic and then a couple of pro nights or whatever, and then you just get good but cheap to make good food, like Mexican food or whatever, like nice stuff, burgers, good but decent though, not like the Lazy Dog used to do good food, like not shitty, not shit. Don't serve people shit, because there's no need to it. You can still put a couple of quid markup on it, but don't take the piss. So you run a good pub with good menu, and by the way, we have a room that's for comedy. And if you can get a good space, I think that will be the way to do it, rather than just have this vapid space like the Glee is, quite frankly. And it's just they have a laser show before, and they have to tell everyone that show's about to start because the animals go there.
Yeah.
So, please remember, there is no drinking during the show. Please remember, the show started 10 minutes. And there's all these lasers going around because they've got to distract the actual pigs that go to these places on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Just a sensible, nice, like the best comedy room you've ever been to over to perform at, like that, inside a normal pub. And then on a Thursday you do an open mic, and a Friday and Saturday you do a pro night. Charge 10-15 quid a ticket. That would be the way to do it. You're just saying, if you do nice food as well, not wanky, just nice.
Yeah,
A little bit more
yeah.
than not Wetherspoon's level, like a nice craft pub level.
Yeah.
In a decent area, I think that would be the best way to do it. You'd make enough, I think, to survive, and it'd be a nice place to go, and for comics to perform at.
I tell you, if I had the money, I would buy a place immediately. I don't know where, but I would. It's a good fucking aim to have. But yeah, no, that's pretty legit. Like, so you don't need fucking long egg and fucking Billy Bear meat, like.
Billy Bear. Who came up? Billy Bear, if you're watching, is a piece of ham with a bear face on it. And I think there's one with a clown as well.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, there is a clown face Billy Bear meat. Who thought that was good? I don't know.
Well, what are you telling your kids? You just slice layers of clown off and serve that to them?
Slices of that and long egg as well.
Instead of that lamb you love on your plate covered in mint sauce, it's a depressed 57-year-old man that does kids' parties, and we've sliced him up.
Now eat his face.
Eat his suicidal face.
Yeah. I bought some crisps the other day from Aldi that are called Teddy's Faces, and that's kind of fucked, isn't it?
I guess I like Pom Bears. I remember Pom Bears.
Yeah, but that's the whole bear, like not just its face. Right. There's something about eating face that is just a bit odd.
Percy Pig does quite well.
Pardon?
Percy Pig does quite well.
Yeah, he's very popular, isn't he? I don't understand quite why. I don't get the popularity of that. Like, it's a sweet, isn't it?
It's kind of like a corporate sweet, I think, at this point. It's like the Starbucks of sweets.
Right, okay, yeah.
Get a Haribo, you get a fried egg, cola bottle. I'm happy if I get sweets, which is rare. I'm happy with like a cheap packet of Tesco cola laces or cola bottles.
I would have.
I'm happy with that.
I like the ones that have like Tangtastics. Me go.
There's a Percy Pig called Reversey Percy Pigtails or something, or Fizzy Pigtails. I like that. But yeah, Tangtastics are my favourite Haribo just because they're like sour.
Yeah, innit? It tastes a bit like poison. Just a little bit.
It can't be good for you, like whatever they're made of. Chewy gelatin. I don't even know what gelatin is. I know it's something that's chewy.
It's just hoofs, isn't it? Just hoof.
Whale brain or something. Whale soul and sugar on
it. Rendered down tongue fat.
Fuck everything, man. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so tomorrow it's wild because I'm kind of ready, but tomorrow I'm off to Brazil for a while.
Whereabouts?
So I got friends in the south, right in the south, Argentina, called Porto Alegre. But I've got a day in Sao Paulo, 24 hours, because the flight was cheap. So I'll see what happens. I do know someone else there. I know a few people around actually. So I'm there. It's like a city, but on one day we're going out to some farm. We're going to camp on Saturday night or something. I'll probably get murdered there by a Brazilian. I'm definitely coming back a drugs mule.
Of course.
Then I'm back to Sao Paulo next week, and then I'm getting a bus. It's like a 5-hour bus. I'm going up to Rio, I think on the 29th or whatever it is. So I'll be around some beaches then.
Nice.
And then, I'm just zipping about, but I might be able to stay out for an outrageous amount of time. I'm looking into it. I won't know till I get there. But basically, I'm going to test what my laptop connects to and what it doesn't connect to. And then I might just be able to not tell most people that I know and just be in Brazil for a while. It might be 3 weeks. It could be like 6 weeks. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I wanted to do this 3 years ago, and COVID fucked it. And then I'm at the point now. I don't care if you want to get me for anything. Come to Brazil.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's legit.
And have a bit of a reset, and I'm sure it will create lots of material, especially if I shit myself beach again. Yeah.
I love that it's again.
Oh man, that time I was just my biggest concern that there were snakes. Obviously, it wasn't on a beach; it was on a beach dune, like behind where people were, and the bit's in this grassy area, and I had to just fly over that and just go, "It's coming." I hope no one walks up this path. And my big concern was there just would be a just snake in there.
Yeah, that was the stupidest question I've ever asked someone. I was going to ask if they have poisonous snakes.
Yeah, and they have all kinds actually. I went to some canyon, some nature reserve a few years ago, and I stepped over something. You all right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. We can all live banging. I stepped over this
dishwasher.
I stepped over this thing that I thought was a log, honestly, like a cliche. That's it. Wanted to see the canyons, and we drove back out down the car park up this track, and then we like, oh, that's a big snake. It was a big snake right away across the path and about that thick. Just laid there, just chilling. And I didn't even look at it. When I stepped over it, I just, you think, oh, there's a bit of branch. Step over that. It was just sunbathing, this fucking big thing. But my friend was like, Brazilians are so laid back. He's it's not poisonous. Like,
fuck that. Yeah.
I've not seen too much. I was on an island where there were some monkeys and stuff that you could hear. One tried to nick a bit of fruit that we had on the balcony, but yeah, I've not seen too many. I've seen some dead bodies. I've seen one dead body.
Fuck's sake. I mean, they don't fuck about there. They do not fuck about.
I was on a bus and there was just a dead, what looked like a poor archaic individual with no shoes on and just shorts, just dead in a university campus with like several police around him laughing. They were just talking about, how's your wife, I've got all this stuff, got a building in extension, and they just, no, they don't. That's the one thing, like, there's no acceptance of trouble. But for the most part, tourists are actually safe out there. It's not the worst, like, you would get for the most part is a pickpocket. I don't know. You'll
have that happen anywhere, though.
For the most part, the violence is between drug gangs out of the touristy areas. Not that I will be in some regular areas as well, but it tends to be just out the way, or the police and them. But I've seen and heard gunfire on several occasions. And
right.
It's just a different world when you get a helicopter shooting into a favela, like a shanty town, or them shooting. But I've seen that from like a couple of miles away. You can just see it.
Fuck.
When I'm on a beach reading a book, like, is that normal? Yeah, it's normal. So it's close, it's not right there. But no, the food's beautiful, the people are great, and it's just obviously it's going to be like 25 to 29 degrees, I think, when I'm out there. So
that's about right. I wouldn't want it to be any hotter than that, personally.
No, that's autumn as well. So I've never been this late. Nice, yeah. I've been out there when it's been 35, 40, and it is a bit much.
Yeah.
If you're out in it for too long, even with a hat, I just find shade and like a bit of aircon and stuff. But
yeah, no, fuck that. I wouldn't live. I would not live if it was that hot.
You are paler, but I'm okay with the sun. But it's a big. I'm glad we had this nice bit of weather this weekend, just so it's a bit of a warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking sick. Well,
yep. So I'll be back. I don't know. I've booked a couple of gigs. I've got one in May. I don't know if I'll make that. So I put it in, and then I booked a couple in July. So I'll be back by then. I'm just starting to like. I want to go reasonably hard when I get back to those gigs.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens the rest of the year. Got some other things coming up. But,
nice. I always think my aim is just 2 a week minimum. I find 2 a week, maybe 3 every other week is pretty sustainable. Anything much more than that, I find I'm so knackered by the end of the week.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially if you've got a lot to do and you're traveling around and stuff.
Yeah. I'm just going to helmet. Give me 2 ticks, right? Helmet.
A little bit noisy over there. In fact, what we'll do is if I just press that, and hopefully this isn't broadcasting out in a Dykes way, but there might be a. Here we go. George is coming back now. There we go, buddy. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, no, yeah, it sounds sick.
Yeah, no, I agree with you about the number. You can't do too many because it's just you're just exhausted.
And like I've lost jobs before from being that knackered, you know, just from gigging too much, just being a cock. So yeah, I think
also the rest of your life as well. It's like other elements of your life can be a problem. It's like, well, you're just not.
Yeah.
You're losing the ball. You're either hungover or you're traveling or tired. It's just like getting the right ones at this point, I think, and doing stuff that's fun.
Yeah.
Rather than begging to go on at the fucking Dog and Duck, where it's a mixed night.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about doing. I think finding good gigs that make it worthwhile. That's the trick now. And
then occasionally invading the grain barge.
Exactly. Yeah. There's room for those ones.
Like the siege of Mariupol. Occasionally just go in and just see what happens.
Fuck's sake.
If it doesn't work, because this is a gig, by the way, people listening, it's a gig on a boat in Bristol, and it's a mixed night, so musicians as well. But sometimes if 4 or 5 comics go down, you can just go and see what happens. I remember bombing there before and just telling them I hope the boat sinks.
Yeah, it's good because that they're not there for you.
Yeah.
So why would you give a fuck? So it means you can get stuff out.
Just trying stuff out and then trying to make comics last, I guess, is the main thing. And then obviously the guy that runs it. And then, if a violinist or a fiddler in the audience gets a bit upset,
Exactly.
Never mind. I remember Jack was down there and they were having a go. They were like, "Oh, that's too far." He said something about a wheelchair. So he got out a book and he's like, "Right, let's go through all these Epstein ones then," because it was at that time. And he just did a page of his Epstein stuff and then finished. And then they went back to enjoying their Mann singing about every star being a soul. Or whatever.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, we need more of them. More of those gigs.
We do. We can wrap this up in a second if you need to get on. I need to...
Yeah, I do need to get some food cooking.
I've got food coming and I've got... responsibilities, and I've got a pack.
Yes.
I'm mostly packed, but I just got to sort the rest of it out. But I've got to go and speak to other family members like a human that hasn't just sunk 3 pints of Stella in an hour. Whatever it is.
All right, mate. Well, yeah, we'll knock it there then.
Nice. Thanks for coming on. But by the way, George,
thanks for having
very
me.
Funny. We'll see what. I'm doing plenty of these while I'm away as well, and we should do more of these when I get back. I think get a few of us on, and
I think that'd be sick.
Have some fun. But it's been nice, mate. So I'll press stop now. All right, I'll just press stop.
All right, mate. You press stop.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll press stop. Right, bye.
Thanks,
I didn't say retard.